going to give a high-level overview of the portfolio. There's been a significant change in the shape of the portfolio over the last year, which essentially shows progress in achieving the strategy of acquiring a better quality property, higher value, well-located properties with good tenants and good leases. The asset value is now 21 billion, up from 2 billion last year, with an increased property value from 50 to 80 million per property, and a reduction in properties from 358 to 253. So it gives you an indication of what's happened with the shape of the portfolio and how much it's changed. There's a total GLA of 3.1 million, which is pretty much in line with last year's, and a vacancy rate currently of 5.8%, which is certainly the lowest it's been in the last 3 years, and has come about due to various aspects, acquisitions, disposals, and letting activity. There's a renewal success rate of 79%, although our goal would be at least 85%, so we're not happy at that level. And then there's been a renewal growth rate, which I think is probably comparable, if not better than our peers in the marketplace, but has been negatively impacted by 3 large office lease reversions. The investment, as you can see with the sectoral spread, the investment in the office sector remains the most dominant, be it value, GLA, or numbers of properties. However, it now consists of a higher quality of property, again in line with our strategy. Insofar as the geographical spread is concerned, it's predominantly Gauteng, KZN, and Western Cape. Again, it's essentially the strategy that we set up. Within those areas, there are identified hotspots within which we've been acquiring property, and then we have, I think it's important to note that we have regional offices in each of these areas, covering all the property management skills capable of managing these portfolios. Again, the top 10 properties by value. Again, this very definitely reflects the change in the shape. The other interesting thing is that within the top 10 properties, there's no longer a property which has government as a major tenant. I think up until now, certainly since the merger, that's been the case. And then what I'd like to do is just comment on these properties in terms of the activity that's taken place over the last 3 years. If you look at Golden Walk, we added 12,000 square meters to Golden Walk about 3 years ago. Standard Bank Centre, we're about to do an upgrade in terms of parking. Pepkor Isando, we've just done the 66,000 square meter extension. The Discovery Building we've recently acquired. Sammy Marks, we acquired the 3rd leg of the 3 sections during the course of last year, and we're now looking to add some additional retail. Park Meadows, we've recently put in the Food Lovers Market and added 3,000 square meters of additional retail. Cleary Park, we extended by approximately 10,000 square meters about 3 years ago. Convention Tower is a property that's only coming up to 5 years. And then Tywell Square is a property that we've recently purchased, as with Commerce Square. So you can see within the top 10 properties, there's been a lot of redevelopment activity that's taken place. Multi and single tenanted properties. Our strategy was always to achieve a situation where approximately 1/3 of the properties were single tenanted. It's likely that the single tenanted retail properties in time will be replaced with higher value single tenanted retail properties. The sector vacancy by region, just an overview of where the vacancies lie at the moment. The Western Cape essentially is no large vacancy in any one particular building. It's spread across the portfolio. Gauteng, the large office vacancy is currently in 90 Rivonia Road, which we are probably going to redevelop. That's approximately 15,000 square meters. And otherwise, in 222 Smith Street and 209 Smith Street in Braamfontein, and in time they probably will be disposed of as well. In fact, we have an offer which we've accepted on 222. The remaining office space in Gauteng and in KZN exists in CBD properties. I think just in terms of what's happening in the office market, we don't anticipate any improvement to B and C grade properties for the foreseeable future. A-grade properties, essentially rental levels are drifting. We've seen that. We've now let 82 more, 100%, and we've seen rental levels there between 125 and 145 rand a square metre. So you're not going to see growth in A-grade properties, but certainly in P-grade properties with high Green Star ratings. That's where the growth in the market currently sits. The gross lettable area and vacancy movement. Well, the slide is in two sections, essentially. The first slide, the top part of the slide reflects the movement in GLA over the past year, and the bottom section reflects the movement in lease activity over the year. So as you can see, as indicated, 3.1 million square meters of space, 173,000 square meters of vacant space, just under 6% in vacancy. And you can see that the extent of leases that expired during the course of the year was deemed a risk at the beginning of the year because of the quantum. We've managed to renew, however, 79%, and as I indicated previously, our intention is to, well, certainly our goal would be to increase that to closer to 85. So at the end of the year, our vacancy sits on 5.8%. The letting activity for the year, I think what's noticeable here is that we have shown renewal growth in each of the sectors. Certainly given that there were three large negative reversions, and I'll show you on the next slide, in the office space. Certainly at the beginning of the year, we didn't expect to show positive growth in offices. Retail, I think, is pretty much in line with market, although again, for the coming year, we'd like to think that we can improve on that. And I think that industrial, we've done reasonably well. I think that what's interesting is the value of leases concluded is approximately 2.5 billion rand. And this slide, it's got lots of information on it, but it shows the three large reversions. It was the Vodacom in Pier Place, the Alexander Forbes, and the Accenture properties. Had we been able to renew those leases with growth, we'd have seen probably 4 or 5% growth in rentals in the office sector. The top 10 new deals by value. I think what's important there is that the top 3 are all as a result of development or redevelopment activity in Pepkor, Hammanskraal, and Park Meadows. And then the month-to-month leases. These are all leases with government as the major tenant. And I'm essentially showing the slide to show you the type of risk that exists. Yes, we will get the increases in rental. It will take a while to get them, and you could take a view. Some people may say this is an opportunity in terms of business. I think from our perspective, in terms of growing and reshaping our portfolio, it isn't any longer. And I think that our motivation certainly is that we would be looking to dispose of this portfolio in the medium term. The lease expiry profile by let area. Again, the majority of the monthly leases is made up of the office leases which house government, and there's about 700,000 square meters to be renewed during the course of the year. We're not concerned, notwithstanding the fact that it's a large number. There are a lot of large tenants who we're negotiating with at the moment, so we're not concerned about the quantum. And that's an overview of the acquisitions and disposals that have taken place during the year. We've acquired 2.6 billion during the financial year, which have been transferred. There's a further 2.3 billion which have been acquired but not transferred, 2.4 disposed, and another 170 million of disposals not yet transferred. That's the list of the acquisitions. I think what's important there is that are the big ones: 155 West Street, the Discovery property, Tybalt Square, currently under head lease to Zemprop for another 2 years, Chris Harney Crossing in Vosloorus, which we bought in partnership with McCormick Group, 22 Fredman Drive, which houses Eversheds in Sandton, and then the 2 industrial properties, Dawn and the General Motors outlet in Kruger. These are the properties which we've acquired which would be transferred after August. The Nickel Grove portfolio we are reconsidering. There are certain town planning issues that haven't yet been finalised, which gives us the opportunity to reconsider whether we do proceed or not. But as indicated by Mark, we've acquired 50% of East Rand Mall for 1.1 billion. Obviously, that has an impact in terms of again the shape of the portfolio as pertaining to retail, etc. But it's an exciting acquisition. And that's just the top 5 acquisitions and some detail by property. These are the disposals that were transferred during the financial year, 2.4 billion. And again, the majority of them are, or the majority of the properties made up through the Arrowhead and the Arrow Creek disposals. The other 2 large ones being Waltloo, an industrial property just outside of Pretoria, occupied by Public Works. In the process of vacating, we've sold it to ABSA. And then there's 7 smaller properties which will be transferred during the coming months. Current developments, again 720 million rand under development, initial yield of 8.7%. The important one there, I think, is 90 Grayston Avenue in Sandton, where we're building a 19,000 square metre office block, which is currently underway. And some slides showing you how the portfolio has been or is going to be improved. That's the 90 Grayston. It's Essex Gardens in Westville in Durban, where we built a new office block with parking and have refurbished an office block for TBWA. Maynard Mall in Wynberg in the Cape, where we've done a facelift upgrade. And future developments, 90 Rivonia Road in Sandton, which we'll be looking to redevelop during the course of the coming year. There are 5 large users of space looking for space in the Sandton area, each looking for between 25 and 35,000 square meters. We're on the shortlist in each case, so we're hoping that we can land one of those. Rosebank Offices is a development here in Rosebank that we're on the shortlist. There are three parties involved. Matlasana, big one up in Northwest, the shopping centre in Klerksdorp. We acquired the development approximately a year ago. There's one more objection that needs to be met, and then we can get in the ground and get underway. And then the other big one is Standard Bank Centre in Cape Town, where we're looking to add parking decks. Completed developments, well, the big one there really is the Pepkor industrial space of 66,000 square meters out in Isando. And again, there's an indication of the Pepkor warehouse. I think enough has been spoken about it during the course of this presentation. That's the Park Meadows, where we've added the additional 3,000 square meters and food lovers market. Scottsville Mall in Pietermaritzburg, where we did a total re-tenanting and refurbishing. And Shoprite Parow in Cape Town. That's it. Thanks.